everybody, and welcome and joining us at EchoPark this evening, or as most of you probably know it, Atlanta. Should be another exciting race from the Truck Series tonight with 75 laps of action here at EchoPark, as the drivers are taking to the track currently to knock out their qualifying laps real quick. 5 minutes of this, everyone will complete 2 laps, and we will move into the main feature of our race. Let's go ahead and take a moment to get our race info up here. This is week 20 at EchoPark or Atlanta. The configuration, as you can see on the screen here, about a mile and a half, just over it. It is in Atlanta. Temperature is fairly favorable. Should be a lot of drafting action tonight. We'll go ahead and take down that track info. Now let's go ahead and get up our current point values here. As we see, Chantel Pottle in that 05 machine is still holding down first place in the standings currently with 631 points. Aaron Vogt not far behind her there. He's going to be looking to try to make a huge difference in this race, maybe put a dent in some of those points there. Joshua Fix in the 83 machine still holding down that third place position with 549 points, trailing right behind Aaron Vogt there, just over 50 some odd points. Speak of the devil, I believe that is him making his way out onto the track as we speak to get those qualifying laps in real quick. Matthew Corley in the 95 machine holding down fourth place position in points with 391 points. Bit of a gap there between him and the third place. He's had a few missed races here. Nothing too drastic though. And then we see Brent Thompson there, old grandpa in the 45, currently sitting in fifth place right now with 351 points. Chris Shriver there in sixth with 344. Andrew Ziegler in the 12 machine sitting in 7th with 308 points. Austin Ziegler in the 9 machine with 252. David Martin in the 53. Been a little minute since we've seen him on the track. He is sitting at 247 points. And Doyle Boyd there in 10th in that 001 machine with 241. That is your top 10 as it goes right now. Go ahead and take those point values down off the screen for you. So we take a look around the track here. Let's see who we currently have on the track. It is that 83 machine of Joshua Fix getting his qualifying laps in here. A little bit of a different paint scheme than what we're used to seeing out here tonight. Almost looks similar to his VP, the number 2 machine of Aaron Vogt. The 95 of Matthew Corley out there turning laps for his qualifying laps currently. Tire wear not too bad here on this track, especially with the current track temperature. Drivers will have to watch that red line there. Oh, a little coming in a little hot there from the 95. Let's just to make it a little easier on you guys, let's go ahead and get our driver boxes up so you can see who it is we are currently looking at here as the 33 of Brandon Muir gets out and completes his laps. And we should be about 15 seconds from wrapping this up and getting things underway here. Get our screen cleared off here as these guys start to get gridded up. We'll go ahead and take a look at our grid for this one. Stand by one moment. It would appear the grid is having some difficulty there. Let's take a pause here for a minute. We may have to show it a different way here. Not entirely sure what. There we go. Well, yep, this looks like the current grid order here. I'm not entirely sure what happened there with that last one, but nonetheless, we got it resolved here. So let's take a look real quick, shall we? Looks like the 12 of Andrew Ziegler is going to be starting this one out in first place on the grid. The 11 of Ricky is going to be in second. Brandon Muir in that 33 machine will be third. Stephen Gall in the 25 will be in fourth. Aaron Martin starting this one out in fifth place. Aaron Vogt starting out in sixth there. Doyle Boyd starting out in seventh. Matthew Corley in eighth. Joshua Fix in ninth. Christian Shriver starting out in 10th. Chantel Pottle starting out in 11th. And Austin Ziegler in 12th. I do believe it is leaving one off here, but that would be the 99 of Riley Pottle in 13th. So let's go ahead and get all that info off of the screen there. We'll throw our track number up, or excuse me, track map up, so you can keep up with where the cars are on the track at all times, no matter who we're focused on. If you know who your favorite number is, should be relatively easy to keep up with. If you're unsure, you can always ask the live chat. We are watching it. I would be happy to answer it and tell you. I have most of these guys memorized off the top of my head and know who is who. As these drivers get lined up on the track here behind the pace truck, get ready to get this thing kicked off and underway. 75 laps. Halfway stage at completion of lap 37. Been some technical difficulties here recently with some of the software here, so if the halfway stage is a little delayed, we apologize. We're hoping we've got it worked out, but as we all know, anything that comes with electronics or technology is not coming without difficulties, so just keep that in mind. Try to make sure we have the best view here selected for you. As we look to get this one underway here, pace truck is now off and they are about to go green here. And we are green flag racing. Live from EchoPark, or New Atlanta as most of you know it. So we take a look there at the 27 of Aaron Martin, currently in front of Aaron Vogt in that 2 machine there. Oh, and the 14 got a little sideways back there. I don't believe it's going to trigger a caution here. Does not appear that it will. Looks like we will stay green flag for this one. Is the number 11 machine there of Ricky still out front. Getting past the 33 of Brandon Muir there, who I believe, if I remember correctly, started this one in second. .27 of Aaron Martin trying to close that gap on Aaron Vogt in the number 2 there. Doyle Boyd back there just behind him with the 95 of Matthew Corley. Chantel Pottle back there.
My fault. don't know who that was, but that's not a good idea doing that. You need to get off the track as soon as you get close.
I can't help it when a wheel malfunctions on me there, my friend. I'm sorry that I'm having trouble as much as I'm sick. If you want to keep playing with me, feel free.
Still Boyd there in the 001 trying to keep up with the
Nobody knew
pack
that.
there
They
and
didn't
close
say
the gap.
anything. Next time, just give us a heads up. That's okay. I ain't mad at you. I promise.
5 of 75 laps now done. 6 this time in as they run into the dog leg here. 27 of Aaron Martin trying to get in tight behind the 12 of Andrew Ziegler there. Running too wide into the turn. Brandon Meir in that 33 on the outside of the 12 of Andrew Ziegler there. Little bit of trash talk going on this afternoon between the 12 of Andrew Ziegler and the 9 of Austin Ziegler. It was quite hilarious, if I must say so myself. Little friendly, family-friendly rivalry going on there. It's 2 of our members from Conway, South Carolina. As the 12 of Andrew Ziegler is trying to get in tight there behind the 11 of Ricky. Still currently holding down that first place position. After taking it over from the 12 of Andrew Ziegler. He's going to try to hold on to it and establish this early on. We know one thing about being up in the front at draft tracks, though. It will eat up your fuel mileage as everyone behind you is sucking in all that air coming off of your truck. Makes your fuel economy crap because you have no one to draft off of. This guy's running too wide, keeping it pretty consistent there. So you see the 25 of Stephen Gall right there behind the 33 of Brandon Meir as they come into the turn here, keeping it too wide for the most part. A little bit of staggeredness going on between the 27 of Aaron Martin and the 05 of Chantel Pottle. A little bit of a gap. She moves to the outside there to jump in behind the 25 of Stephen Gall, and she goes all the way to the outside. Running that line just below the wall there. That is the most efficient line on the track for tire wear. If you want to keep the tires fresher longer, that's the line you want to be running there. Oh, the 27 of Aaron Martin jumps out in front of the 33 of Brandon Meir before tucking back in front of the number 9 of Austin Ziegler. This guy's keeping things nice and tight over here. Switch up camera views for a minute. So we see the 9 and the 27 there running side by side. A little squirrely on the 9 of Austin Ziegler there. Keeps it together though. 2 of Aaron Vogt back there tucking in behind the 001 of Doyle Boyd. "11 laps of 75 complete now. So far, so good in this one. You have to wonder if we'll see any chance of any green flag pit stops tonight. Oh, as the 9 of Austin Ziegler kind of gotten into there.
Sorry, I caught the apron net.
Let's have a look back at that one. See who that was on there. It looks like the 27 of Aaron Martin kind of got into the side. Let's go back and look at that one more time, but let's change the camera up here. Back out a little bit there, you see. I'll rewind it one more time. Kind of get a better view there. My apologies. I should have done that from the jump. So we see the 27 get into him there. And quite a few of them wrapped up in that one there.
Sorry, I caught the apron net.
the cause of that one?
That's on me. I caught the apron snap right.
First caution of the evening here from the 27 of Aaron Martin there, getting into
Sorry,
the
25.
side of Austin Ziegler in the 9.
Checking up in 2. Checking up in 2.
Drivers communicating on the track there, letting each other know that the front part of the pack here has caught up to the pace car, and these guys are checking up or braking. First caution of the evening this evening. We see most of the drivers looks like they're going to be staying out. Maybe, I could be wrong. They will pit now. We know that quite a few of the drivers there were caught up in that last exchange there involving Aaron Martin and the 9 of Austin Ziegler. Looks like these guys are going to go ahead and make their pit stop here and just get topped back off on fuel. I don't foresee anyone taking tires here, as we already mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast here that EchoPark does not eat up tires that bad, especially if you run that outside line, which a lot of these drivers are doing. Looks like the 95 of Matthew Corley and the 14 of Chris Shriver choosing to stay out on this pit. Looks like the 83 of Joshua Fix back there in the very back coming in for this pit. In all honesty, staying out sometimes has its perks and benefits, but it's always a good idea to go ahead and come in and top your stuff off every chance you can during the caution, especially when there's a halfway stage coming up at 37. It just ensures that I think these guys in practice were getting about 23 to 25 laps per tank of fuel with that 50% cap there. So just kind of ensures that you're making it to the halfway stage there without having to do any green flag pit stops, because green flag pit stops, sometimes they can help you, they can also hurt you. You don't plan them out just right. And the 95 of Matthew Corley choosing to stay out now has now assumed first place there with Ricky in the 11 right behind him.
Josh, I don't know if it's going to try to keep my black flag. It's saying passing under yellow when I was going to the pits, and then entering closed pits to drop back, which makes sense.
Copy. So you got a black flag for entering closed pits or passing under yellow?
Yeah, passing under yellow. So that's going to drop me to the end. But then it's also saying, I don't know the passing under yellow issue. I don't know if it's going to try to hold me or what. We're going to see, I guess, in a second.
14, you good?
Guys, say you got that button.
Oh, my fault.
A lot of the drivers back
Sorry,
out on the
25
track
about
now.
that.
The 83 of Joshua Fix back there just behind Mr. Tater Boyd there in the 001. Aaron Vogt there in the number 2 truck, currently in 5th place.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything, but when I went into pit road the second time, it said it was going to hold me for a while. So I imagine once the first one clears, it'll probably say 40 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know, man. EchoPark's been doing stuff weird. I don't know. Just let me know what you need.
The 83's got his...
Copy that. I'll let you know when we hit the start here.
The only thing about it is going to be hard for me to do anything under green.
The 83
Alright,
got
clear
his
now,
hands
you're able to-
full out here as he's running race control and racing at the same time here. Would not want that Tough job on his hands there as we get back green flag here, and Ricky in the 11 is going to take back over first place relatively quickly from the 95 of Matthew Corley, as he is now side by side
Here,
with
I'll wait
the
up for
12 of
Josh.
Andrew Ziegler right on his outside.
Where'd you go, Josh?
Here at the pit exit, I got into the 14, letting go of the mouth and getting back to the wheel. That was definitely on me, man.
As the 05 of Chantel Pottle there goes to the outside. Aaron Martin in the 27 on her inside.
I saw you going slow. I was gonna wait and draft with you, and then next thing I know, you were gone.
Do believe we have a caution out. It sounds like from the radio traffic there, the 83 of Joshua Fix and the 14 of Chris Schreiber may have had an incident there. Looking back at our incident log, and I'm not
Checking up 1 and 2. Checking up 1 and 2.
not seeing anything here. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. Let's have a look-see here. I believe it was this incident here. Let's back that up some. See exactly what happened. Do know it involves the 14. Apologies here. I'm trying to get my footage straight here. Let's take a look and see what happens. See the 14 of Chris Schreiber here. Looks to be right around the time that these guys went back green flag here. We see the 83 up there just above the 25 of Stephen Gall. I do have it in slow-mo here. I apologize. We're just looking to see what happened here because we totally missed it from where the camera view was. So we see the 83 and the 9 of Austin Ziegler there. Yeah, it looks like the 83 was taking care of some race control stuff there, and clearly went right into the outside of the 14 of Chris Schreiber there. So let's get us back out on the track here. So that's where our caution came from. Should be caught back up now
Where'd you go,
as
Josh?
Here at the pit exit, I got into the 14, letting go of the mouth and getting back to the wheel. That was definitely on me, man.
so we hear the 83 of Joshua Fix claiming responsibility for that one. We'll take a EOL
I saw you going slow. I was gonna wait and draft with you, and
at
then
the
next thing I
start
know, you were
of
gone.
the restart here. 1 lap to go. He will drop to the rear of the pack here. Currently only one driver on the track, it appears so far, being a lap down, and that is that of Riley Pottle in the 99.
Checking up 1 and 2. Checking up 1 and 2.
Again, we want to apologize. That is not the fourth caution of the race here. It would be the second. I believe our timing tower has gotten a little confused, and that's all right. It happens when we bounce back and forth a lot of times from these replays back to getting caught back up live here. It's just one of those technical difficulties that you kind of got to learn to work around. We do have one driver tonight missing out on the action. The old 45 of Brent Grandpa Thompson had to take a provisional for tonight. The number 95 now with Matthew Corley currently in 7th position here. Kind of walking up the grid here just a little bit. Riley Pottle getting his lap back now as he is the lucky dog candidate for this time around. We'll be back on the lead lap and starting at the back of the pack. So a fresh start, so to speak, for him. No longer a lap down. We'll see what happens here. Should have the halfway stage at 37 coming up here before too long. We'll know that for sure once the timing tower resets when we go back green here. I'm unsure of what lap we are currently on. Trying to keep up with all the action from this one. If you are enjoying the action so far and all the content we've been putting out between the Truck Series and the Street Stock Series and our every once in a blue moon figure 8 fun races, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with all the new content and scheduled streams coming up in the future. We have the Street Stocks coming up on Wednesday of this upcoming week, heading out to Lanier. Be going out there to do some battle for some short track action. Should be another interesting race. And then want to say next Saturday we will have the Truck Series heading to Daytona Road Course, if I'm not mistaken. So get a little bit of road course action in next week from the Truck Series here. It'll be a little bit different than what we're used to seeing as they've been racing mainly oval tracks here the last several weeks. Haven't had a road course in a little while, so Michael, good to see you in the chat, friend. Sounds like you're rooting for old Tater Boyd out there in that 001. We'll see what he can do tonight and where he finishes at. Mr. Boyd is always a pleasure to be around. Real genuine guy to talk to. Seems to be thoroughly enjoying the action here at Palmetto Racing League. As we get ready to go back green here on the leader, which is now Ricky in the 11 machine there. As he gets a nice little jump there, putting on the gap early on. Just out ahead of that number 2 of Aaron Vogt there. Brandon Muir in the 33 trying to take over Vogt for that second place spot. Chantel Pottle in the 05 with Aaron Martin right to her outside there in that 27 machine. All playing catch up, double file formations running into the turn here. Number 2 of Aaron Vogt, hot on the heels of Ricky there in that 11 machine. 33 trying to make his move on the outside there. A lot of these guys taking advantage of the draft. Not seeing much bump drafting tonight. A little bit going on, but not much. I think some of these drivers are a little hesitant to get into one another there because the track length is not like it is at Daytona or Talladega even. Not as far stretched out there. A little bit closer distance, so the bump draft is a little bit more difficult to do here. Can be done. Not for long periods of time, though. Last thing you want to do is try to give someone the edge and wind up taking them out for the race. Don't believe that's on anyone's agenda out here. As we see the 12 of Andrew Ziegler out there on the outside with Aaron Martin and the 27 right behind him. Got a nice little formation going on out there. Brandon Muir in that 33 takes over that first place position from Ricky. Got a nice lead on him from that run there out front.
Sorry, I had to check up. I was scared that the 12 came down into the 11 to what I saw, and it looked like it was going to wreck, so I checked.
Sounds like a little bit of door banging going on out there on the track. Lap 24 of 75 now, so about 13 laps to go for the halfway stage here. Give these guys a chance to freshen up, come in, maybe get some tires, get some fuel, patch up any body work on the trucks here. It's the 12 of Andrew Ziegler goes to the far outside there before tucking back in behind the 27 of Aaron Martin. All of these drivers looking to put a solid run together there and get the advantage around the others. The number 9 of Austin Ziegler tucking in behind the 12 of Andrew Ziegler there. A little bit of a gap. As the 9 of Austin Ziegler getting a little bit squirrely back there, kind of weaving back and forth. 27 of Aaron Martin and the 25 of Stephen Gall side by side there into the turn coming out. Hitting the dog leg here. Brandon Muir in that 33 still holding on to the lead pretty well. Ricky trying to close the gap though. He's hugging the inside line pretty well here. Got some help there from the guys behind him. Nice solid single file formation for the most part until we get up toward the back some. Everybody single file here trying to take advantage of the draft. Also help out with some of the fuel mileage here. For the most part, everybody's pretty well in tight with one another there, keeping the flow. The 27 of Aaron Martin on the outside. I think he's trying to test the waters, see if anybody's going to join him. It looks like the 001 of Mr. Boyd is jumping out to maybe come out and lend a hand here with some bump drafting if he can close the distance and get up there to the 27. Brandon Fix, thanks for joining us, man. Pulling for the 95 and the 83, it sounds like. The 95 of Matthew Corley and the 83 of Joshua Fix. Always nice when the relatives watch. Makes things super exciting for these drivers. They love the support. Love the support from all you guys. Makes them want to get out here and put on a show just that much more. So we see the 27 there of Aaron Martin back to the outside. Going this time around into lap 31 here. So far, so good. It doesn't appear. We see Matthew Corley is currently in the pits right now. May have just went a lap down here as these guys cross the finish line. We'll find out for sure when he comes out, but I do believe that put him a lap down. Some tight-knit racing here tonight. These drivers were warned tonight before the race kicked off that EchoPark had been experiencing some difficulties with netcode and incidents, but it appears here tonight that maybe iRacing has gotten it together, because these guys have been close inside and outside and not seen any issues tonight, which is kind of different. I did race control for another league on Wednesday night and had some strange occurrences going on with drivers making contact but never touching. So glad to see that's not an issue here tonight. It has allowed us to stay green, give these guys the upper hand to really try and have some advantageous laps here. As the 9 of Austin Ziegler is trying to close the gap there. He seems to have done so pretty well, as he's got that nose right in the rear of the 12 of Andrew Ziegler. 27 going to try and jump back out to the outside, it looked like, before tucking back in behind the 9. Brandon Meir in that 33 machine is still keeping the lead there on Ricky in the 11. I would venture to say that Ricky is biding his time here, just waiting for the prime opportunity to try to get out around that 33 machine. The 27 of Aaron Martin back there tucking into the inside, with the 9 of Austin Ziegler right on his outside. 25 of Stephen Gall just behind him there. A little bit of a push going on. Why don't we try out some riding up front for a brief moment here. So we are looking at the tailgate of that number 2 machine of Aaron Vogt. Getting right up on that VB Racing decal there. Shout out to VB Racing also for helping us make this all possible. And of course everyone here at Palmetto Racing Network and the League of Palmetto Racing League.
Matthew, I'm going to take the inside yet.
Isn't it supposed to be staged now?
One of the drivers asking about the stage here,
Are you guys on 37?
which will be coming up here momentarily.
Coming to 37 as we speak.
No, sorry, I thought
At the line now, Josh, 37.
So the halfway stage, remember, is at the completion of 37, so once these guys cross over,
So if you hit 38 and it doesn't...
Brandon Meir, thanks for joining us in the chat, man. Not so sure it'd be wise to be texting and driving here. You got a pretty solid lead out there. I'd hate for you to mess it up. One of the drivers in the chat there, the 33 of Brandon Meir. Gonna try, looks like, to try and get himself a win tonight. Our caution for the halfway stage here should now be coming out, as they just crossed over into lap 38. You can see the drivers going ahead and letting off as the pace car makes its way out to the track here. That is not the 5th caution, by the way. It is only the 3rd caution. Our timing tower has gotten messed up from jumping between replays here.
1 and 2.
Pay that no mind. One of the technical difficulties we were talking about earlier. I was about to say, I don't know what it is about our cameraman, but he loves to get fixated on one car out there. He's supposed to be swapping, checking out all the exciting action going on, but he seems to hone in sometimes right in on one person. He likes to follow them around the track. Somebody needs to check on that guy every once in a while. I'm almost certain that he is falling asleep on the job, it appears at times. We can't have that. We need eyes on all of the action going on the track. We want everyone to see exactly what it is that's happening, so nobody misses an ounce of entertainment here. So far, so good in this one tonight. Only a few hiccups. This is the halfway point here, so drivers will come back out on the track and look to go back green here with just under halfway to go for the completion of this race. Looks like for a big majority of the pack out there, everyone is going to come in. And we're looking here as the trucks pull in to see how many of them raise up. And maybe up. Looks like there are 11 of Ricky there and the 12 of Andrew Ziegler, both taking tires for sure, right sides there. Keep a look at some of the other ones here. Looks like the 9 of Austin Ziegler may have taken right sides only. The 83 of Joshua Fix looked like he's going to get a full set there as the pit crew makes their way around to the inside of his car to swap out those 2 tires. So everyone should be coming back out for this one pretty fresh and ready to go. Finish this one out. So we see the 9 of Austin Ziegler there, currently 4th place. Ricky in 3rd there in the 11 machine. As we get everyone back out on the track now. Looks like the caution lights are still on the pace truck, so we have this time around it should be 1 to green. You will know that by the pace truck when he turns his lights off. As soon as the lights go off, it is officially 1 to green, and we are that much closer to getting back to some green flag racing here. And our timing tower is kind of blocking our view there of the pace truck, but the lights have gone off on this one, so that means this time around we will be going back green. Pace truck will be coming off the track, and this one will be back underway for the second half of this race. As I mentioned earlier, so far so good in this one. Not too many incidents going on here. That could change in the second half. A lot of these drivers will switch. Almost like turning on a light switch. They will go from being conservative and just kind of surviving, so to speak, to maybe getting a little aggressive here. Might start seeing some door banging going on, a little bit of bumping. I expect to see some more drafting, maybe a little bit tighter drafting this go around, as the 95 of Matthew Corley is back of the pack there, 2 laps down. I'm showing him currently, so I'm sure he is back there hoping for another caution at some point. With him being the only car a lap down, he will be the lucky dog candidate. That lucky dog goes to the first person who goes a lap down, so give him a chance to get one of his laps there as we flash the green flag here this time around. As soon as they enter the restart zone, these guys will be off. And they are green flag. The 33 of Brandon Meir getting out there strong distances, keeping a nice gap between him and the 11 of Ricky. Ricky has kept it in on him tonight. Been right there hot on his heels. I'm sure that 11 machine would love to take home a win tonight here at EchoPark. EchoPark does have a way about it. It's a lot like Vegas. It is, honestly, I feel like it's a luck of the draw track. You can either have a really good race here or a really terrible one, you know, depending on some of the on-track incidents. If you can stay out of everybody's mess and not create any mess for yourself, you could typically do pretty well here. We will see what unfolds here tonight as we get ready to mark this one, lap 44 of 75, this time across the finish line as the drivers enter the dog leg here. Everybody staying pretty tight here, single file for the most part up front. Looks like the 27 is go. Oh, little bit of door. Oh, some door banging going on there between the 27 and the 12 of Andrew Ziegler, as he ate the wall on that one. Let's take another look at that one there. Looks like the 27 of Aaron Martin just did get loose there before coming back and making contact with that right side rear, causing the 12 of Andrew Ziegler. Looks like he broke his tire there, maybe. I think the truck was having a little bit of issue there trying to catch up to the damage. See, it's no longer moving. I don't know if that's because he's got the brakes applied or if the wheels just finally seized up there. Oh, and then gets head on by the 99 of Riley Pottle. Matthew Corley just missing the mess there.
Slipped out on them cold tires and took 12 with me.
As the 12 of
Did I
Andrew
copy that
Ziegler will
one on
have
you?
to take a tow to the pits
Yeah,
this time.
10-4.
Fourth caution of the evening here. Again, paying no mind to the tower.
10-4, I copy.
That was a pretty severe head-on hit there from the 99 of Riley Pottle. Can definitely expect some damage there on that truck. So honestly, surprised that direct contact like that, he didn't blow his motor. So we are back under caution here. Looks like the 33 of Brandon Meir is going to go ahead and come in and get topped off again. Maybe a bold pit strategy here. The number 2 of Aaron Vogt staying out for this one. The 11 of Ricky staying out. The 9 of Austin Ziegler staying out. Several drivers choosing to stay out for this one. Could be the thing that makes or break the race here. If these guys don't get another caution, all these guys pitting will have a few more laps that they could stay out before having to come in. Could be the difference in the race there. Be interesting to see how that shapes out. The 83 of Joshua Fix coming up now behind the 2 of Aaron Vogt there. I thought the paint schemes may have looked a little similar. Definitely lots of resemblance there. Just a slight change in colors, but the schemes are pretty well close together there. For those of you that may be asking the question, the league does not currently run teams, but sometimes these guys will run paint schemes that are very similar to each other, so it's easier to identify each other on the track. Just for pretty much drafting purposes, it's easier to find someone who looks similar to your truck when you guys look alike. So that is most likely the purpose there for the 2 and the 83. They have run together before on several tracks, especially the bigger draft tracks like the super speedways. But they have a mutual agreement there that when it gets down to 10 to go, it's every man for himself.
Got on that, Andrew. I ran out of fuel halfway through the corner.
And we have seen that a few times in several of the races here. First time this evening, those two are on the track near each other. Be interesting to see how this pans out, depending upon where they are. Most likely, one will be on the inside and one will be on the outside, either just up from the other or behind. As Ricky in that 11 machine has now jumped back up into first place there. No sign of Brandon Meir in the 33. Not sure where he went to. Looks like he is just a few car. He's still in pits. Not entirely sure what happened there with him, but we'll see what happens there. As he exits the pits there to jump in the back of the pack. Believe that is either the 001 of Mr. Boyd or the 99 of Riley Pottle. I do believe that is Mr. Boyd there. And it is right behind the 14 of Chris Shriver. 29 laps to go in this one now at the start of the green here on the restart. Ricky gonna try to push out up front there, establish the gap early on. A little bit of contact with the wall there from the 9 of Austin Ziegler as he tucks back in behind the 2 of Aaron Vogt. 83 moving to the outside there with Chris Shriver right behind him, outside of the 05 of Chantel Pottle. Brandon Muir in that 33 going to try to close the gap on the 83, maybe give him a little push there as he runs that high line outside. That is the favorable line out there for tire wear. Saw a couple of drivers there on the halfway stage taking tires. Probably not necessary really with this track, but not a bad call either. It does take up a little more time. Average pit stop for taking, 4 tires and getting some fuel's about 13 to 14 seconds, depending on how fast your crew is here. The 83 now trying to gain in on the 33 of Brandon Muir as he is on the outside of the 25 of Stephen Gall. Got him a nice little run going on there, probably eating up that side draft from the 25. The 83 going to hold his position on that outside, try and catch some of that draft off of the 33. Maybe help pull himself up there as he does so here in the dog leg. Trying to close that gap on the 33 and see if the 33 can help him move on up front there. Would also be a little bit of a help to the 33 as well, as it looks like the number 2 of Aaron Vogt and the 11 of Ricky are both up front. A little bit of gap between them and these guys here. It looks like the 83 is trying to get in on the bumper of that 33 and give them a little boost there, get them both up past the crowd here. The 33 just sneaks in front of the 25 of Stephen Gall, and the 83 is stuck out there on that outside, just outside of the 05 of Chantel Pottle. Falls back a little bit now, just behind the 14 of Chris Shriver. Brandon Muir with a nice run going on. Looks like with some assistance from the 25 there. Bump drafting some. Not as close as what you would usually expect, but the way he's pulling away from these trucks here doesn't seem like he needs much help at all with this with the draft. The 05 of Chantel Pottle looking to try to squeeze in between 33 and the 25 there. Not enough room for her to get in, so she backs back off to the outside. The 33 of Brandon Muir varying lanes here. 05 of Chantel Pottle on his outside. Looks like she's going to be able to get the run on him just a little bit. Enough to keep those fenders up past the fenders of the 33, but I think the 33 may have gotten the edge on her there. Side by side now. 25 of Stephen Gall trying to tuck in tight behind the 33 of Brandon Muir. 33 making an edge there on the 05. 83 coming in behind the 14 of Chris Shriver there. Looks like he's catching some draft from the 33 and the 25. Trying to make his mind up whether he wants to stick to the inside or the outside. 83 with a nice little run there as he moves to the inside of the 14. Close that opening up. If he can keep that draft going, the 3 of these cars might just make their way right on up past the 05 and the 14 as they do so. The 83 kind of washing up a bit. Oh, and he gets into the side of Chantel Pottle in the 05 and the 14 as well.
Sorry.
Gotta watch the dog leg, man. That dog leg will get you every time. Let's go back and look at that one real quick. Gonna have to rewind some here. Looks like he ran the inside line there on the dog leg, but kind of swung out way too wide. That's the problem with the dog leg here at Echo Park, and you have to. It comes with experience, but you have to anticipate that dog leg coming out the way that it does. I'll kind of take you up close here in a far chase view and show you what we mean here. You can see how the track shifts as it moves up here toward the dog leg. You see the 14 of Chris Shriver just to the outside. Looks like he was able to dodge the mess, though. You see the 83 there dipping down to the red line. Just does get 2 tires over it, about halfway into the car there. A little more than halfway there. But he was in too deep there. Looks like the 14 got into the rear of him. Didn't really have much of a choice. And as a result, spun out the 05 of Chantel Pottle there.
Bottles, that's on me, I'm sorry.
The 83 going ahead and claiming responsibility of that one. As we see the number 2 of Aaron Vogt there trying to gain on the 11 of Ricky, who is still holding down that first place position here. And the caution is going to come out for that one. That is our 5th caution of the evening.
Checking up in 2.
I do believe someone probably needs to check on our tower guy as well, not just the camera guy. I don't believe the tower guy would be sleeping on the job, but I definitely may want to check on him to see if he's been drinking on the job. He is 2 ahead.
Cleared for the entering closed pit. Not if they were closed. I was already in the pit lane.
All these drivers going to go ahead and come in and take a quick little pit stop here to get topped off. Probably not a bad call here. I don't remember exactly what the lap count was before the caution came out, but my guess is that pitting here would most likely get them to the finish with a few laps to spare, possibly. Definitely get them to the finish nonetheless. So I want to say before we went to the caution on the tower here, I want to say we were 20-something to go. I know they were getting about 25 laps to a tank of fuel, between 23 and 25. So it'll be close nonetheless. We'll see what happens when they get back out there and we go back green and know just how many laps it is we've got left. Maybe off on that estimation there, as it looks like the 11 of Ricky is going to hold on to that first place position. Got in and out of the pits quick enough that nothing was affected there, but now the 33 of Brandon Meir is right there behind him. Looks like the 27 of Aaron Martin there chose to stay out. Most of the drivers making their way back out on the track here now. Aaron Martin will pit this time around. That's another thing about this track here that catches a lot of drivers off guard. It's got that long pit road entry road right there, and iRacing will knock you over the head for missing that. Haven't seen anybody do it tonight. These guys did just run Echo Park.
Matthew, I don't know what it wants us to do, man. First it said let you pass, and it said let you go around.
Surprisingly, with these guys running Echo Park just a few weeks ago, the pit road entry there has not been an issue.
Light 5, you're on the outside.
But iRacing will hit you over the head for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought I was on the inside. Showed me fit, that's why I went down there. So, I bet.
Most of these drivers are lined back up now. We are one to go. So this time around, we will be going back green. Looks like for the most part, everyone is back out on the track and ready to go. Get the last bit of this race underway here. If you're in the chat and you haven't said hello yet, be sure to drop us a line. We do pay attention to your messages in the chat. We will interact with you. Answer questions. Whatever you got for us, let us know you're there. As the round of the turn here, pace truck should be pulling off of the track. Drivers will be hitting the restart zone, and we will be back to green flag racing to hopefully finish this one out. 17 laps to go now, so yes, all those drivers that just pit, they should be good to finish this one out without another pit stop. Should be good on fuel, tires, all of the above. The 11 of Ricky there getting a dominant start there to the race, establishing the gap very quickly there. He timed those shifts just right. Brandon Meir in that 33 though, right behind him, looking to close the gap quick. Not going to hold that gap for long with a solid run there. The 9 of Austin Ziegler right behind him got a nice run from that draft. Enough to get that 33 machine pushed out in front of the 11 of Ricky there.
You said he got a black for closed pit?
That's what he's thinking. He's not 100% sure what he told me.
Ricky trying to gain back in on the 33 of Brandon Meir, and he is keeping it tight and in close there now. Gonna try to see if he can't put a solid run together to get himself back out front there with the 25 of Stephen Gall right in behind him. 14 of Chris Shriver behind Stephen. Nice single file formation here. All these drivers drafting off of one another. The 2 of Aaron Vogt back there. Looks like he is trying to run that inside line there and put something together. A lot of these drivers looking to do something as a couple of them spread off here. The 33 of Brandon Meir able to hold on to that lead still. That 11 machine is trying his best though. He has got something going here with a single file up. The 25 of Stephen Gall right behind him. These guys trying to keep something in tight here. Everybody's single file now, eating up as much of the draft as they can. Looks like all these guys are choosing to run that inside line. The 14 of Chris Shriver going to the outside back there, dropping back a few car lengths. Just 12 to go in this one. Single file tight formation there. For the most part, everybody is bumper to bumper in this one. The number 2 of Aaron Vogt on the outside there. Nobody really running with him. The only thing he can rely on out there is some of that side draft and hope that it's enough to get him around the 12 of Andrew Ziegler there. Austin Ziegler trying to play catch up to the 25 of Stephen Gall. Chantel Pottle in the 05 right behind the 2 of Aaron Vogt. A little bit of a diamond formation just for a brief second there between the 2 of Aaron Vogt, Chantel Pottle, Andrew Ziegler, and Austin Ziegler. Single file for the most part here. Ricky is doing his best to really stay in behind that 33 machine as much as possible here. Doesn't seem like he has veered off from the draft pattern here at all. I believe he's waiting on the prime opportunity get a solid run from that draft to try and shoot at around that 33. And hopefully reclaim that first place position for him there. Not sure he's going to get it with that 33 machine, though. That guy's pretty dominant out here on the track. Usually see him running with the 13 of Dustin Spates, who is not present tonight. The 25 of Stephen Gall keeping it in tight as well to the 11 of Ricky there. None of these drivers up front trying to give an inch. Every one of them trying to get the edge here. Aaron Vogt still on the outside. A little bit of a swing out wide there from the 9 of Austin Ziegler.
Track, we're too wide back here.
Okay.
The 33 of Brandon Muir asking the 99 of Riley Pottle there if he can move to the outside, as most of these guys are running too wide. A little bit of net code going on there from one of the drivers. Looks like all were able to get past the 99 of Riley Pottle with no issues there. Good call on 33 for calling that out and letting that young driver know. Kept these guys from having any incidents, and we see the 001 of Mr. Tater Boyd there getting ready to get lapped by the 33 of Brandon Muir. That pack has a solid run going there. They tend to do that when the draft is running very well in their favor, and it appears to be doing so here. The 11 of Ricky there is not letting off the bumper. Running that inside line very efficiently there. Keeping things in tight right there with the 25 of Stephen Gall just behind him there. 5 laps to go in this one. If the 33 of Brandon Muir can keep this up, he's got it in the bag. Can't count the 11 of Ricky out, though. The way he's been keeping that bumper right in the bumper of the 33, and he looked like he was going to try to shoot to the inside there. May have second guessed it, wanted to keep the draft going so he didn't budge. Trying to get a good run there, but that 33 has just got something going for him tonight in that Chevrolet.
Sorry about that 27. Thought he was coming in on me.
Sounds like the 83 may have had an incident again there
Yeah,
with
a wild arrow situation.
We had a good run going though.
I don't see where any on-track incidents happen, so we will stay to the action up here at the front with just 3 laps to go now. Be wrapping this one up shortly. That number 11 machine is trying to keep it in tight on that 33's bumper, and he has done a phenomenal job of doing that here tonight. All of these guys up front have really put on a race tonight for sure. Definitely keeping things tight, keeping that draft flowing. White flag lap this time around now. As I look for the action to tighten up here, everybody is going to be trying to do what they can to pull off something successful there, and it looks like we had a little bit of an incident there. Oh, it looked like the 2 tried to get a little bit airborne. I don't believe a caution's going to come out for that one just because the time frame that it is on right now. What in the world happened here? See the 12 get into the wall there. The 14 of Chris Shriver got into the side of the number 2 of Aaron Vogt. Aaron Vogt getting slightly airborne there. All of those drivers were up front. Now Andrew Ziegler is going backwards here. The 9 of Austin Ziegler got tangled up. 12 of Andrew Ziegler hitting the wall hard there to the rear. Let's run that one back and see what exactly it was that happened. I'm not sure. Looks like we got to that one just before the actual incident happened there. Saw the 14 of Chris Shriver kind of get a little loose there. Let's take a look at that. And let's look at it from the far chase here. We see the 05 of Chantel Pottle, the 25 of Stephen Gall here, the 14 of Chris Shriver, 12 of Andrew Ziegler coming up there in the rear. Looks like the 12 of Andrew Ziegler just got into the rear of the 14 there before making contact with the front of his car, sending him back to the right. Looks like he might have been able to hold on to it as the 9 of Austin Ziegler moves to the outside, but then the 14 clips the rear of Andrew Ziegler and then catches the 2 of Aaron Vogt there before creating a mess. Let's keep this thing rolling. White flag lap, so this is going to be it this time around. Here is the 11 and the 33. The 25 moves to the outside now, trying to get something going here. It looks like the 11 goes to the inside, but it's not going to be enough. Brandon Muir is our winner for tonight's race there.
Good run, guys. Oh, watch out, turn 3.
So Brandon Muir in the 33 takes home the win tonight. Stand by. We will have our grid results ready for you here shortly as the 33 gets his victory laps in over there.
Good job, Ricky. Good job.
Let's take a look at our final results there. So after the 75 laps of excitement, Brandon Muir in that 33 has taken home first place tonight. Ricky in the 11 taking home second. Stephen Gall in third. Chantel Pottle in that 05 machine taking home fourth. Joshua Fix finishes in fifth. Chris Shriver finishes in sixth. Aaron Vogt in seventh. Austin Ziegler in eighth. Matthew Corley in ninth. Tater Boyd in 10th. Riley Pottle in 11th. Andrew Ziegler in 12th. And Aaron Martin in 13th. That is your results for tonight. So I think we touched on it earlier.
Well, good win. Now let's see how we do when we actually race the actual track there, fellas.
So this was the current points lead prior to the race there. You see Chantel Pottle with 631 points, Aaron Vogt with 605, Joshua Fix with 549, Matthew Corley with 391, Brent Thompson, who took a provisional tonight, in 5th place, 351, Chris Shriver in 6th, Andrew Ziegler in 7th in the standings, Austin Ziegler in 8th, David Martin in 9th, and Mr. Tater Boyd in 10th. At the conclusion of tonight's race, these are our current point systems. Chantel Pottle is now at 664 points with Aaron Vogt right behind her at 635. So we have no change in positions all the way down to Matthew Corley. Those four drivers are still your top four. Joshua Fix with 581 points now. Matthew Corley with 422. Chris Shriver has moved up one position now to 5th place with 375 points. Brent Thompson is now right behind him, moving down a position to 374. Andrew Ziegler in that 12 machine staying in the same position in 7th, 333 points. Austin Ziegler staying in the same position with 281 points in 8th place. Tater Boyd moves up a position now with 268 total points for the season. And David Martin drops a position to 247 total season points. And that's your top 10 driver standings for the Palmetto Racing League Truck Series. What another eventful show tonight, especially there towards the end. Did not see that wreck there at the end coming. Those guys were all keeping things pretty tight. You expect things to get a little more heated and excited there on those few last laps, but did not see the wreck coming there that happened. That was a shocker there for sure. But that's all we have for tonight as far as our race goes. Be sure to tune in with us again Wednesday as the street stocks head out to Lanier for some short track action. And then our truck series will be out on Saturday back at Daytona for the road course. So still got some racing action for you coming up next week. Be sure to join us. That's going to do it for this evening's broadcast. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we hope y'all enjoy your evening. And we look forward to hopefully tuning in with you on Wednesday.